Hello everyone and welcome to Innovate's Under the Hood webinar. I'm Matt Dusig, one of the co-founders of Innovate. My hope is that by the end of this webinar, you've learned how a sampling company works, from behind the scenes. Maybe you've wondered how a sampling company actually does what they say they'll do. Unfortunately, most sampling companies hide behind a veil of secrecy. I call this a great wall protecting their business processes and their secrets, which is sometimes a bunch of smoke and mirrors. But why do they hide? That's an interesting question. Who's real and who's not in the sampling industry? Who can you trust? It's not easy to tell the difference. Well, this webinar is meant to bring clarity and transparency to the world of sampling. And this type of transparent webinar has only been done once before, by me. It was back in the days when we were running USAMP. We were the first sampling firm to publicly show off the tools that ran that business. Some thought we were crazy, and well, maybe we were. And well, the first question is, who are we? Well, Innovate was founded by me and my longtime friends Greg Lavin and George Lawrence. We're the only major sampling firm in the world that isn't owned by venture capitalists nor private equity firms. In fact, we might be the only completely independent, founder-owned sampling firm. What I'm going to show you today is called Edge by Innovate. It's the 7th sampling platform I've built over my career in market research since 1999. 7th platform. That's a lot of sampling systems. I'm also going to show you the US English version of our panel site, called Point Club. So let's get to it. This is Innovate Edge. It is the best looking, the most intuitive, and most importantly, the most powerful sampling system in the world. It does everything from project management, sample management, quota management, panel and panelist reward management, layered with tons of quality controls, and so much more. Let's jump in. It all starts here on the Jobs tab. A job is a survey project. It's where we set up each survey to match the exacting requirements of each client's project. Within each job, we can create groups, and a group is basically a container for more granular controls within each job. For example, a 3-country job would have 3 separate groups. Or a job with very different target audiences could have multiple groups, like B2B versus consumer segments. Let's take a look at some of these. Here's a job for Canadian B2B large and small size companies. And within this job, I have 3 groups: a large segment, small company segment, micro company segment. Here's a job for consumer confidence research that has 3 segments, or 3 groups: a US group for males and females nationally representative, a UK group, and a Canada group. Here's Hispanic beer drinkers. One group is for age 21 to 45 males, another group for 21 to 34 females. A French-Canada panel recruit. This would be a job where we're recruiting panelists for one of our clients, and it looks like this would be for Quebec only, men and women above 18. Here's another job, severe and high cholesterol sufferers. One group, people with LDL levels over 100. So you get the idea. A big part of satisfying our clients is exceeding their expectations, and every job can be color-coded with an alert status. So we always try and stay on top of the jobs that aren't performing the way we expect. For example, here the French-Canada panel recruit is flagged as red, which means the team absolutely has to pay attention to this job. There's another job, consumer confidence research, is flagged as yellow. Now, it's not the entire job, it's just the UK segment that's flagged as yellow. So the team's going to pay attention to that as well. Here's what we're going to do now. To save some time, I've already created a test job. I'll run through that now, and we'll create a target audience, turn the sampling job live, and wait for real respondents to to start to flow into our survey. So here we go. The test job I created is called my Xbox Gamers in California, New York, and Illinois. Now this job has already been created, so you didn't have to watch me create it, but I put it in my video game category, I selected a client, I gave it a job number, and I have assigned a month that we will invoice this job, or expected to invoice this job, and we've turned on our true sample fingerprinting. Innovate has integrated up to version 4.0 of True Sample, which is the most advanced level that True Sample has created to date for their fingerprinting and quality controls and deduplication technology. Within each job, I've already assigned people to the job. I've assigned myself, as well as some other project managers, sales reps, and a contact for our client. And I can add some notes. And typically these notes are more information about the job itself. 100 men and women between the ages of 18 to 34 in California, New York, and Illinois who play Xbox. We need to gender balance 50-50. Now that the job is created, I can go ahead and create a new group. And for this group, I'm going to give it the same name as the job, since I'm actually not going to create multiple groups here. Xbox Gamers, California, New York, and Illinois. The next thing I'm going to do is give it a group type, which is a consumer sample. My N size of 100, estimated incidence for this, I'll say 50%. This is going to be a very short survey at probably 5 minutes or so. I'm going to put in a $4 CPI, a $2 reward to our panelists. And what you can see here is I can also target different devices. So desktop and tablet, desktop only, mobile plus desktop, mobile plus tablet, mobile only, tablet only. For this survey, I'm going to choose all device types. And then I can go and enter a survey URL. And the survey URL that I'm going to use is actually one where I set up a survey at SurveyMonkey. So I'll go ahead and paste that in here. I can also upload multiple URLs or batches of URLs if a client gives me URLs that each contain their own code or each contain their own password. Okay, let's go ahead and save and create this group. And then we can go over to our sampling tab, and the sub tab of that is called targeting. And here within targeting, you can see that we have our N size, the panel that we're going to use. We can select one of 50 plus countries and then change the language for the panelists as well. What we're going to do is add in our criteria specific to this Xbox Gamers study. So age range 18 to 34. And when I save that, you'll see that the panel is showing 750,250 panelists matching that criteria. Then we'll go ahead and enter in gender, male and female. And of course the count is still going to be the same. Now let's go down and look at our geographic targeting. So for this, we are looking for California, Illinois, and New York. And we'll go ahead and save that. And what you'll see is that our count is now showing 215,827 panelists. Now let's go over to our profiling questions. And here we can search our vast library of questions that we use for targeting panelists. For example, let me search for Ford. Do you own any of the following automobile models? Which of the following SUVs and crossovers are you considering? Let's search for Amazon. Do you work in one of these top IT companies? What types of payments does your company accept? Select the services you use to watch, movies or shows. Of course, for this study, we are looking for Xbox, and I've placed a special Xbox question in my test category. And what you'll see here is that I'm specifically looking for Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox S. And I will go ahead and hit save. And you'll now see that my count has dropped a bit on the people that match that criteria plus the people that match my demographic and geographic criteria to 42,172 panelists that match this criteria. Okay, before we move on, I've been talking for about 10 minutes, and let's take a quick intermission. Okay, I'm back. Now let's set up our 50-50 gender quotas. It's so easy. We just click into our quota tab here, and we go to create a new quota. And what I'll do is say that I want 50, N size of 50 for gender of males, and hit save. And then I'll create another new quota of N size of 50, gender equals females, and save that as well. I can also create nested quotas by selecting more than just one targeting attribute. For example, if I wanted to create a quota for females 18 to 24 that are Hispanic, that's possible as well. I'm going to show you our panel site, Point Club, in just a minute, but I wanted to make sure that this survey gets promoted on the Point Club panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Promote tab, and we have something called the dashboard. And I'm just going to check this on and make sure that this survey gets promoted to the Point Club panelists. Next, what we're going to do is we can send out a batch of emails. And here's where we can actually choose what our subject line is, as well as choose to send out fresh emails to panelists who have never received an invite for this survey, or we can send out reminder emails. We can also choose the number of emails to send to this particular survey. So before I do that, I want to make sure that this survey is actually live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn my group live, say go live with this project. So now you'll see that my group and my job are live. I can pause them if I want. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to select the template I want to use, which is my Point Club template. I decided that I was going to give these panelists $2, if you recall, in the reward amount. So that's 2,000 points for video gamers. I know that these people are video gamers. That's not a leading subject line. They have already told me that they play Xbox. And I'm going to go ahead and send out new emails. And for this specific survey, I don't want to send out that many emails. I need 100 people to complete the survey. So maybe we'll start by sending out 300 emails. In addition to sending out emails, people that log on to Point Club will see this survey available to them, assuming they match the demographic and geographic criteria for this survey. And that's why I switched on the switch under the Dashboard tab. I can decide how I want to select these 300 panelists from our database. I can select them by random. I can select people that are most active. They've clicked on at least one survey in the last 30 days, so I know that these people are alive. And then I can choose to send this survey out now. Okay, let's go ahead and schedule this email campaign. That has been scheduled. Next, we can monitor this campaign in our campaign stats, so we can actually see how many emails have been sent out, how many emails have been opened, how many emails have bounced. So the campaign is underway. We won't sit here and watch that, but great, we're off to the races in driving traffic to this survey. Okay, I'm going to show you our panel site Point Club in just a minute, but let's take another quick break.
24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so clear.
All right, so people are actively taking our video game survey. Let's talk about the panel. No, not that kind of panel. Although I do think Simon has been a lot nicer than in his past, but that's not the topic of this webinar. Of course, I mean the kind of panel where people take surveys to make money. At Innovate, we developed the greatest panel site ever, and it's called Point Club. I've developed dozens of panel sites over my career, and this is by far the best. The mascot of Point Club is this guy, Captain PC, or Captain Point Club. And we've built this incredibly responsive panel by airing TV commercials, and it's getting real people to sign up for Point Club. Here's the 30-second commercial. Yes, it's silly, but in today's age of inattentive TV viewership, I believe you have to do something creative to grab viewers' attention. So here goes.
That's good. If you know what's not good, it's coming up short on cash for the simple things in life, like a first date. But have no fear. Point Club is here. There's no need to live in shame any longer. You too can have bags of money just by going to pointclub.com and signing up to be an online survey taker. You give your money up to be an online survey. It's that easy.
Who's gonna pay for all of this?
Point Club!
You might remember the lead character, Captain PC, as Ethan Kraft from Disney's Lizzie McGuire. He played Lizzie's boyfriend between 2001 and 2004. Yes, that's him, actor Clayton Snyder. So why is this the best site we've ever built? Well, let's go ahead and ask Lisa Wilding Brown, Innovate's Chief Research Officer. If you don't know Lisa, well, she's one of the most knowledgeable panel experts working in the market research today. Don't believe me? Let's go ahead and text her. Hey Lisa, are you the best? Okay, maybe she doesn't understand. So, you're live on our webinar. Tell everyone you're the best. Okay, this is getting awkward. Can you call me now? Wow, that was fast. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for calling so fast.
Hey, Matt, no worries. You want me to say that I'm the best. You know I'm more modest than that, but
I
what can I say?
do think you are the best.
Aw, thanks.
So I thought we could chat, and I thought you could tell everyone what makes for a great panel site, and then what makes Point Club the best we've ever built.
Well, I've built hundreds of panels since the inception of online research back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I've tried pretty much every different panel building strategy you can imagine, from run-of-the-mill short registration paths to longer, more detailed registration paths to all different types of incentive strategies, whether it's sweepstakes, no incentives, point-based strategies. I've really tried it all. And I think over the hundreds of panels I've developed, and what makes us so unique and so different is that we create a solid marriage between user engagement and creating a really optimal user engagement experience for our respondents, and we marry that to quality. So, quality is something that gets a lot of airtime, a lot of discussion across the industry, and it's something that's really, really important to us because there's quite honestly, there's a lot of risk when you run a panel in the online ecosystem. So I think for me, it's really about creating this special relationship between putting the respondent first, as well as thinking about the malicious folks out there that want to cause some damage, and thinking about how to really manage that experience across the entire lifetime that a respondent is in your panel.
It is a balance, right, between like creating a good experience for all of our panelists, but then at the same time preventing the bad guys from getting in and abusing the system.
Exactly. And you have to sort of cater to both audiences, right? You have to create a really effective strategy around keeping people interested in an otherwise difficult environment. That is in itself a real challenge. And as a panel kind of expert, I can't control what's happening within a survey, right? But I can control what's happening to the respondent before they go into the survey and when they come back. So what we've done this time around is we're really focused on creating a really not only like a beautiful looking site, right? So look and feel is super important, creating a nice registration flow that's quick, it's easy, but also making sure that the look and feel of the site itself is really fresh. The millennials especially, they really expect a completely mobile responsive site. They expect to have a very kind of fresh and modern looking site. And so I think that our site Point Club really reflects that strategy and that philosophy of having a really optimal look and feel. Our respondents really seem to like our mascot, Captain PC. They're interacting with him quite a bit on our Facebook page, through Instagram. and other social channels like that. And that has been a really effective strategy as well to sort of humanize our panel site. And I think the last piece related to user engagement that's super important is our incentive strategy. I'm just so glad that we are an entirely sort of self-funded, owner-funded company, and that you, Greg, and George really believe in creating an optimal user experience and know that you have to think long-term. You have to really invest in your panel, and you have to put an incentive strategy together that reinforces that. We're offering incentives when people qualify and when they don't qualify, and that's huge because you're taking away that motivation that people have to be dishonest. If you're going to earn a reward no matter what, you're going to be honest. You're going to tell our clients the truth in the survey experience. And I'm sad to say, in previous panels, I definitely saw some overzealous behaviors coming from respondents because they were so darn frustrated with the experience. So I think offering an incentive in both scenarios really helps to mitigate that risk.
What about technology relating to quality?
Our strategy has always been to implement lots and lots of layers. I think where some panel companies go wrong is that they, maybe use a digital fingerprinting technology at registration and they sort of say, okay, our job is done here. And for me, that is a really naive and very dangerous strategy to employ. Online fraud is rampant right now. And, it is something that hits all different types of industries, not just the market research industry. And I think it's important to know that, no company, no government body, no multi-billion-dollar brand is impervious to attempts of fraudulent activity by malicious people online. It's just sort of goes with the territory of running a business online. But for me and on our team, really it's about implementing lots and lots of layers. You can never be complacent and say, you know what, we've got our fingerprinting technology, we're good. That's a really dangerous strategy. So for us, it's about blending in both technological as well as methodological strategies. And I'm happy to say we have over 40 different mechanisms in play right now, Matt, to help really thwart these individuals that we know exist online. We have partnerships with not only TrueSample, but also with Relevant ID. We're really continuing to innovate and figuring out, what other layers can we implement to give ourselves that full assurance, because the fraudsters are innovating and we have to as well.
Well, Lisa, thanks so much for your time.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Point Club has some great features that I'll show you now. When people sign up for Point Club, they provide us tons of information about themselves, including their demographic and geographic information, as well as answering various psychographic questions. Married with intense quality, fraud, and identity controls, we're able to then match real people to surveys. So once logged in, a user can earn points, which convert to gift cards. There are dozens of gift card choices on the site, including Amazon, PayPal, Xbox Live, Zappos, charitable donations including the Special Olympics, World of Children, many, many more charitable donations, Walmart. We've built an incredibly powerful survey matching algorithm to make sure that the right user gets to the right survey. What you can see here on my dashboard is that there are 2 surveys showing for me. When I was in Edge, I flipped on a switch called Dashboard, and that pushed our survey onto the dashboard targeting 18 to 34-year-old men and women in California, New York, and Illinois. And if I matched that criteria, then I might see this survey on my dashboard as well. If someone owns an Xbox, then that survey is pushed right to the top as they're a perfect match. But if we don't know if the user owns an Xbox, but we do know that they are a match for the demographic and geographic criteria, then Point Club will ask them that question about video game ownership before allowing them access to our survey. One of the best ways to stay top of mind with our panel is via Facebook and Instagram. So we reward panelists for following us on social media, and then we're able to continuously promote Point Club to their newsfeed. We post all the time, and that's a key to our engagement. Almost every single day we're posting something fun, some kind of trivia question, or some kind of super code that they can enter on the Point Club website. Advertising footnote: you can only buy Point Club panelists directly from Innovate, so email us today. Our email boxes are open 24/7 and we're waiting for your message. I'd actually say call us, but no one likes to talk on the phone anymore. So that's the tour of Point Club. Let's head back to Edge, refresh the stats, and see what's happened over the last few minutes with our survey. Okay, here we are back in Edge. What you can see is that we achieved over 100 survey completes for this job. How did we do it? Well, we targeted the right people at a time when there were a lot of panelists on our website. In addition, I'm sure at least 25% of those completes came from people receiving our email just a few minutes ago. And if we were to look over here at our quota tab and view our gender balancing, we can see that the completes are broken out evenly, 50 males and 50 females. So that's it for our presentation today. I hope you enjoyed looking under the hood of a sampling firm. Feel free to contact us with any sampling requests that you need help filling. Have a great day.
To your credit, to the 30 faces you created. To your headache, to the shape of the 1980s.